Hello, this is Brad Swift, Right on Purpose Coach, with another instructional Right on Purpose vlog. Today we're going to look at the app, the online app called Draft2Digital. This is one of my favorite apps, and the reason we're going to be looking at this today is one of the things that I've heard a lot, hear a lot from my Right on Purpose clients, and also online, social media and the like, is many new authors, aspiring authors ask, how do I format the book once I have the book finished and ready to format it so I can publish it? And the good news is there are quite a few different ways of going about that. And the challenging part is, well, there's quite a few different ways of doing it. And so the one that I'm going to explore today is one of my favorites, Draft2Digital, in large part because, well, it's free. And it gives you a lot of different options. And you do not have to use their distribution services, although I do. I think that's probably maybe part of the strategy. They give you plenty of great free resources and tools to use in the hopes and expectation that eventually you'll use their services that you end up paying for. But even then, when you pay, you're paying only a small percentage of the actual book sale. So it's not any, money out of your pocket up front. So we're here on their Draft2Digital website, and we'll first take a real quick look at, the sign up. So up here in the upper right hand corner, you'll see sign up. And you'll click on that, and it's a pretty basic sign up. First name, last name, default PIN name if you want to go ahead and put in a PIN name, your email address, password confirmation, and whether or not you'd like to receive their marketing news, tips and trips, and then obviously something to disprove that you're not a robot, and then you go to register. Okay, so we're going to pause this for just a moment. And since, as I've said, I've used them quite a bit for the formatting of my books and the distribution of my books, we're going to go to the other function up here, which is login. And then I prove that I'm not a robot, and we will go in here. And in just a second, we'll see that we're in an area. You'll see a number of my books. I don't remember exactly how many I have, but probably over 25 books that I've used this way. But the main thing we're going to focus on today is not the books that are already being distributed and used in this way, but we're going to click this button right up here, which is add a new book. When you add a new book, you can start whether you want to start with an ebook, start with a print book, or an audiobook. And I've used it primarily and would recommend you start with ebook itself. And that'll take you right over to this page. And it'll be asking, do you have a cover art yet? And if you do, which I do, you click right there. Now, you can go ahead and start. It says here, if you have a full print wraparound cover, do not upload it here. Since we're using it as an ebook, all we really need is the front cover. So what you do then is you browse for it. And we're going to I'm just going to pick one here right now. Let's say we're going to print that one. So again, very simple process, just kind of follow the guidelines here. Okay, and now that's available. Okay, now you have a book title. Well, we're going to go with Fantastic Fables of Foster Flat. So we're just going to okay, and then you ask, is it part of a series? Now again, I have a number of series, so this one actually is part of a series, so I put the series in. If you don't have a series, that's not a problem. I use my publishing company, Porpoise Publishing, so you put that in there. And one of the things I want you to notice here, each place there's a question mark that if you highlight over that, it will help explain, the information. Now then it says Orange, Jason Bradford. What's your author name? Now again, I currently use two different author names. So you can have a pen name here. There's some others that I have used in the past. I'm going to just say for this time we're going to go with W. Bradford Swift. Okay, all my books are slowly gravitating over to that. Okay, now you're asking about your target audience age. My book does not contain content inappropriate for minors. My book contains content that is inappropriate for minors. This particular book I would put in this category. And then you would put in your filter, your BISACs. And again, that is subjects are the categories that shoppers will browse in to find your book. And you can put in a number of those. Click on this. You can actually do a search here. I'm just going to quickly go back and just say it's young adult fiction. And then, let's say we'll put it as fantasy because it is. And then you can look and see the different types of fantasy. I'm just going to put general fantasy. And so you can complete that. Okay, and then, you can come up here to the volume number. This is actually volume 2 of the series. And then the search terms, you can put in whatever search term seems appropriate to you. And I'm just going to put that in just to show what happens. And you can put in several, 6 or 7 or 8, search terms. Okay, then that starts the process itself. Okay, then you're going to browse for the thing, and I'm going to pause the video here for just a minute. Okay, so I've gone into my Google Drive and located the correct file. So I'm going to use Fantastic Fables, and I'm going to load the DOCX itself. Again, it's doing its sort of thing, uploading that itself. You put the release date. If you set it to a future date, if you're going to do pre-orders, I'm just going to keep it like it is. And then in here, you would put in your book description. Now, your book description would be basically what you want to have show up on like the Amazon page or the Kobo page. You want something in there, and it can't be blank. It's got to have something in there. So again, I'm just going to pause for just a moment. Okay, now I've basically clipped and pasted the book description that I would want. You can see also that you can do some light formatting here. You can have bold, italicized, underline, and bullets. Since this is an anthology, I've got a list of the titles itself. However you want that to look, again, on the various pages. Now, again, if you're using this only for formatting of your book, then you need to put something in here, but you don't have to be as critically concerned about it as it is. You can put a short ebook description. That's optional. Just for fun's sake, I'm going to put the first part that's in here. I'll put it in here. And you may be wondering, I think I'll put it in there. There you go. So the shortest sales description of your book that will appear along with the cover image on Smashword sales pages. Recommend including the book's approximate length. Each description should be standalone and complete. Again, this is one of the things I like. They really help you kind of understand as you're going along. They've had this new edition here, so they want to make sure that you get there. Is this a collection? In other words, is it a collection of books, a book bundle? This one is not, so I'm not going to worry about that. You can also split payments for this book. Again, these are all additional options that I'm going to pretty much ignore because I want to get us to the whole process of formatting. Now, again, you can use your own ebook ISBN, or you can get a free one from them. For this purposes, I normally use this one because I like having it appear as Porpoise Publishing. But for this place, I'm just going to use their free one, since it's basically markup. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Now we're in the step 2, the layout. And you'll see over here the chapter layout. So it's taken that file that I have and have put in the what they think are the chapter headers. Okay, so for chapter layout itself, and this pretty much follows pretty much what I would want it to look like. Title page, Fantastic Fables, introduction, then the stories themselves, a message from the author, about the author. All that was in the document that I uploaded. Now, if those don't match, you can get help by pressing this one, and I will also include that there's helpful information on how best to format that file that you're going to be uploading to minimize having problems in this area as well. So they provide that. And then you have additional matter that you can include. Now, since this one already has a title page, I would not check that, but I have used that. If you want a copyright page, a dedication page, you can also put also by. So at either the beginning, if you click that, they'll ask you, do you want it the other books by you at the beginning of the book, at the end of the book, or both? So you can have that option as well. Then you got new release email signups. You got all these different possibilities. You can have a teaser, which would be for another one of your books. So if I was to do that, I might put Fantastic Fables of Foster Flat, the first volume about there. Biographical pages, you can put that there. And again, you've already entered that information elsewhere in the Draft2Digital information. I'm not going to click that. I am going to click about the publisher, though. I'm not going to click about the author because I can see that I already have that in there in the original manuscript. Okay, so once you have everything you want in this area, then you get save and continue. Please select a location. Oh, okay, I didn't click. I thought that was awfully quick. I'm going to say just do it at the beginning of the book. So again, now they're doing a little leafing here to get you over to the next page itself. This is where all the magic is happening. And here we are on the next page. We're going to scroll back. All right, to the very beginning. Okay, so this is what it's looking like, and this is where the final formatting takes place. Okay, so that's the title page that was already in the material itself, and we're just going to kind of scroll through the pages. This is the also by. It says R. and Jason Bradford. This particular book was originally written under that name. That's why it's there. But I could go back into the system and change that. So it would reflect, W. Bradford Swift. And then it actually has both of those listed. It's pretty cool. And then the table of contents, which is what it got generated. This table of contents. Remember, it's an ebook in this area itself. And again, you can click on any of those hot links and take you to that part of the book itself. So that gives you, and again, let's just take a look at one part. Okay, so we're going to look here. Now, this is what the book looks like before you've done anything over here. You got a template style options. So you can try different things here. If you want, say, modern watercolors, okay? Now in modern watercolors, you get this neat little thing there. Or you said, no, that's not quite the feel I want for the book. So you can go through all of these, and even though they kind of get them listed as mystery and thrillers and romance and science fiction and fantasy, nonfiction, I like going through all of them and look and see which one for me fits best. So for something with this, science fiction and fantasy, maybe I'll try fantasy. So it might be something like that. So you get to kind of try it out, and you can go back and forth, look at different options, to see which one fits for you. And then you can also have a drop cap, which is what we have there. That's that big E there. Or a phrase cap, which starts off that way. Or you can have none of that. Beginning of seams decoration, you can have again, this says at the beginning of each scene. This is the beginning of the chapter. And then if you have scene changes, you can also add those options as well. So that's where you really get into being able to customize the look and feel of it. So let's just say we're going to keep with that for now. Okay. Now, once you get there, you want to click, I have reviewed this manuscript and approve it for release for distribution to any sales channel I select on the next step. Now, again, you do not have to use that. You can, go, this is as far as you need to go, because what you now get is to download your book preview with the Martin watercolor style. So download Mobi. Well, Mobi's not really being used that much these days, but if you want to, you can download that kind of a file. What I generally do is download the EPUB. That's what I actually use for, most of the places if I am going to distribute it, myself. And then over here with the download PDF, then I'd like to go over here to this view book first. If you'd like to customize an audiobook or print project, visit our view book page. So I like to click over there to that first, and here's why. You can download the digital type, and again, what I'm going here is for a PDF that I'll use for the paperback and possibly for the hardback. And you give you the various dimensions, make it just a little bit more precise. So I used 6x9, so I would do that, and then I would click to download that. And that's how you can use Draft2Digital's free service to download your various files for your ebook itself. If you have any questions about this, you can post them. You can also contact me at brad@wbradfordswift.com. And if you'd like to explore my services as a Write on Purpose coach, you can go to wbradfordswift.com/coach. And there you can fill out a form that will give me some background information about what your aspirations are in your writing journey. And then can schedule a free, no cost, no obligation coaching consultation in which I promise you to deliver value that'll be well worth your time, and at the same time give us the opportunity to see whether or not we would be a good fit to work together. Okay, take care, everybody.